Hi, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And my goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a specific film. If you are brand new to my channel, yay, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you found me. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay! I really appreciate your support. Be sure and like, subscribe, comment down below. All of those things, they spread magical fairy dust all over my YouTube channel so more people can find it and I can help more people with my reviews. All right, so today the movie I want to review for you is called Mavka, The Forest Song. This animated fantasy hits theaters on August 15th, 2023. It's actually really special. It's rated PG and is an hour and 39 minutes. My movie review mom grade is a B plus. I thought it was very sweet. So I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things that I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar, that if you like those, I think you'll like this, and vice versa. You know what I mean? All right, so let's dive in. In a nutshell, the movie is based on the Ukrainian poetic play called The Forest Song. In Ukrainian, you say Lisova Pisnya. It's by Lesia Ukrainka, which was based on the Slavic mythology. It was directed by Ole Malamuts and Alexandra Rubin. I hope I pronounced those Ukrainian names correctly. Despite the dangerous working conditions in Ukraine now, the film studio that created this film was determined to keep working on the project in order to share the Ukrainian message of love and peace around the world. Bombs were flying all around the team, yet they only stopped production for just a few days. Amazing. The film production began in 2017. This movie was the only Ukrainian project that was pitched at the Cartoon Movie Festival for 2 years in a row. I think American audiences are really going to enjoy it, especially young children, especially young girls. I would have eaten all this up. I would have eaten this whole story up when I was a little girl. So there were a lot of things that I liked about the movie. First of all, I wasn't very familiar with any of the voice actors because the original movie was filmed with all Ukrainian celebrities. The female lead was voiced by Natalia Denisenko, while the male lead was voiced by Artem Pivovarov. I don't even know I am attempting to say these names. What we're hearing are the American voiceovers, which include Lori Himes, Eddie Lee, Sarah Natachny, Tom Wayland, Mark Thompson, Scotty Ray, H.D. Quinn, Nikki Thomas, Allison Lee Rosenfeld, and Mike Pollock. Okay, those are names that are much easier to pronounce. So the story takes place in Ukraine. What we see is a beautiful and magical land, very unlike the bombed out areas of Ukraine that we're seeing in the news, right? We get to see traditional Ukrainian clothing, as well as hear their music and their language. The movements of the humans and many of the forest creatures are very realistic. So great animation work. The rich colors make this movie absolutely beautiful to watch. There's a cute little sidekick and some other forest creatures that'll definitely make you go, "Aw." And we're sure to see merchandising of that. Your kids are going to want to buy some of those little things. One of the lines in the movie is combat polka, which just made me laugh, just imagining what that would be. There's a lot of visual and spoken humor. The Ukrainian forest includes a lot of unique, imaginative creatures, and children especially are going to love that fantasy. There is some lovely original music, although the film could not be considered a musical. There's just some really nice back soundtrack music and musical scores. Mavka isn't just a Ukrainian film. Merchandising for it has already become popular around the world. And the filmmakers, I'm sure, are hoping that Mavka becomes a movement. All right, so with all of that praise, there were just a few things that I didn't like or thought could have been done better. The opening scene has a lot of exposition, but there are also a lot more scenes where someone has to explain everything that's going on about this unique land and what happened to it and what's going to happen to it. So there's a lot of explaining, which takes away from the show, not tell. The story repeats over and over again how being nice is a weakness. Now, in the end, it's understood that it's okay to be nice, but I wonder if kids might, young kids might not quite pick that up. The movie overall is extremely predictable. Some of the voice talent sound a little bit like a cheap cartoon rather than for a polished feature film. But overall, I thought that the movie was beautiful to look at with some nice messaging. So let me give you some tips for parents. There's no profanity. Yay! Instead, words like heck are used. And I say, oh my heck, sometimes do. Humans and forest creatures fight. We see a forest destroyed by fire twice, in fact. A man and a woman kiss romantically. A dog slaps a man, which is, for visual humor effect. We see a skeleton head floating in the water. It's also supposed to be funny, but I'm kind of like, oh. There are a few scary moments, particularly when these creatures seem really nice and then all of a sudden their fangs come out and they're all, rah, and you're like, oh. This is generally a family-friendly movie. So some of the themes that are illustrated very well are protecting nature, human nature, trust, bullying, greed and power, community, and sacrificing for the greater good, love, aging and vanity, anger, duty and responsibility, and the power of music. So whenever I'm watching a movie, whether that's in a dark theater with an audience, or if I get a press screener from the studio and I get to watch it at home on my computer, I'm always taking notes and writing down funny lines and interesting lines simply so I can share them with you so you get a kind of a taste for the dialogue. So I'll share some of them with you. You can see them all in my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So there's this one villager, and somebody comes in and is talking to the whole village and is saying, you want to do these things so you don't have to work. And the villager yells out, not working is my dream job. And I thought, yeah, I could relate to that. I think most people could, so that you'd have free time to do the things that you're passionate about. Hopefully, you have found a job where you are doing what you're passionate about. In that case, congratulations, that's awesome. All right, another kind of a cute little line is we meet this little character whose name is Hush, and Hush is voiced by Mikhailo Koma, and it's this funny little creature, adorable, and he's trying to tell a human to run, and he says, run, move your footsticks, because he's never seen a human before, and so he doesn't know what to call them. Anyway, it's kind of cute as we see the human world colliding with this magical, mythical forest world. All right, and then some interesting lines that I wrote down is, one is spoken by Lucas. He is voiced by Artem Pivovarov. I hope I said that correctly. Anyway, he says, music is king of magic. And that's where music really is a big part of the story. And it is magical in real life and in the movie. Another thing that he says is the only magic thing humans have is love, because he discovers love when he gets a crush on somebody. And then in another moment, he says, love and kindness will always win because love is the most precious thing we humans have. And then another moment, there's a guardian, the guardian of the forest, and he's talking to another character. I'm trying not to give you spoilers. And he says, a spark of rage has its price. All right, so some recommendations I have for you of other movies that I instantly thought of as I was watching this was Fern Gully, being the first movie that instantly popped into my head because it takes place kind of in a little fairy magical land, but it's also about protecting the environment, which also happens in this film, protecting this forest land from the humans who want to just ravage the forest for their own needs. Another movie that I thought of is Frozen 2, where we have some magical creatures protecting the forest and some things that are at play there and who is going to be the guardian of this forest. And then another movie I thought of is the very first Avatar. Well, kind of the second one too. Really, the second one was kind of the same thing as the first movie. Am I right? We just got some really cool water. But anyway, in the first movie, again, we have this foreign magical land, and people, the natives, are trying to protect their forest from the humans who are trying to ravage the forest. All right. And then the last one that I thought of is called Princess Mononoke, for many reasons. If you haven't seen that one, it's a classic from Studio Ghibli. It's really wonderful and has some of the similar elements. All right, so that's it for my movie review. I hope that you enjoy it. Have a fantastic day. And when you get a minute, run over and visit me over at Instagram as Movie Review Mom, but also as my author name, Trina Boice. All right, I'll catch you in the next movie review. Bye for now.